Hello everyone, welcome to English with Kashish. Yes, so today what are we doing? We are learning about a very renowned president. Absolutely. This is a chapter from your English language. It is from the part 2. Now, before we start that, I have a small quiz for you. Okay? We are going to learn about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Are you ready to solve a quiz with me? Come on. Now, the quiz is all about identifying these people. I'm going to show you the picture and you're going to tell me who he is. Okay? So, let's start. Can you guess who this is? Any guesses? I'll give you options. Okay. Is it APJ Abdul Kalam? Is he K.R. Narayanan? Is he Dr. Rajendra Prasad? Or is he R. Venkat Raman? Any ideas? Anything? Any guesses? Okay, the correct answer is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Yes, he was one of the presidents of India. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Now, who is this? I'm sure most of you will know. I'll give you options. Is he R.K. Narayan? Is he Zakir Hussain? Is he APJ Abdul Kalam? Or is he Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan? Any guesses, children? Okay, I will show you. It is Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, a great philosopher. Yes. Let's move on to the next. Now, I will give you options. Try to guess. Is she Pratibha Patil? V.V. Giri? Ramaswamy Venkataraman? Or Pranab Mukherjee? I know this is very, very simple for you to guess. It is none other than, yes, Pratibha Patil, the first governor of Rajasthan also and the first lady president of India. So, we have played a beautiful quiz. This is the last one for you. Who is this? I don't have to give you any choices, correct? I know you all know him. Is he Gyani Zail Singh? Is he Shankar Dayal Sharma? Is he V.V. Giri? Or is he APJ Abdul Kalam Azad? Absolutely, I don't have to tell you. I am sure all of you know him. APJ Abdul Kalam Azad, the missile man of India. Correct? Now, who is this? We have one more. Is he V.V. Giri? Is he Zakir Hussain? Is he Ramaswamy Venkataraman? Or is he Ramnath Kovind? Who is he? Come on, any guesses? Yes, he is Zakir Hussain. Okay, let's move on. Now, who is this? Can you guess? Is he Shankar Dayal Sharma? Is he Ramaswamy Venkataraman? Is he Ramnath Kovind? Or is he R.K. Narayan? Come on everyone, guess. He is Ramaswamy Venkataraman. Yes, you're right. So with that, so many presidents we learned about. We are very, very proud to be in India. Why? Because we've got some amazing leaders and that's why we are at this stage right now, so strong politically. Correct? So let us start about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar here. So this chapter is from your book part 2. The chapter number is 4th. Okay. So let's start the part 1. Before we start that, I am going to tell you a little bit about R. Venkataraman. Okay. His full name was Ramaswamy Venkataraman, who was a lawyer. Okay. Which lawyer was he? He was an independence lawyer and activist. He was also a politician who served as a union minister once in our country, and he was the 8th president of India. Absolutely. Didn't we just see his picture? Yes, we did. Okay, so remember Ramaswamy Venkatraman, R. Venkatraman. This can come in your exam. Okay, so always remember all the authors and the poets of your chapters. Very, very important. It can also come in your 1-mark questions. Okay, so let us start our chapter. One trait which marked Baba Sahib during his student days and in fact throughout his life was that he was a voracious reader. What is a trait? Trait is the behavior, how you are. Okay, now voracious, can you see voracious is highlighted in red? That means it is in your glossary. I have also added those words here for you to understand. Voracious means very eager for knowledge. Whatever opportunity you get for that, you want to take it. He was a great leader, great listener, and he loved reading books. So he was a voracious reader. He loved reading. Any time of the day you will find him, he will be reading in one corner. Okay. He had an insatiable thirst for books. Insatiable. This is also in your glossary. If you can't understand this word, you can divide it. Insatiable. Okay, like that you should learn. Insatiable is that which cannot be satisfied. That thirst, that requirement which cannot be satisfied. He bought books by curtailing his daily needs. Now I'll tell you an example of insatiable thirst. Okay. Once your mama, what she does, she gets one totapuri aam for you, alright, one kacha mango she'll get for you. You are 4 people in the house and she cuts exactly 4 pieces and she gives all of you. Now you have eaten off your piece already, but then you want more. What happens to you? That feeling inside you that you want more, right? Exactly that, insatiable thirst. That means which cannot be satisfied, something that you want more. Now, here, he bought books by curtailing his daily needs. Curtailing means restricting. Telling yourself that I will not do this today, but I will do little bit money also, pocket money or whatever money he used to get. He used to go and get books. What do? We go and get chocolates, chips and Coca-Cola and have, right? So we can't say that he was born with a silver spoon. No, he did not get everything very easily. He had to struggle very hard to get everything. But because he loved reading books and loved gaining knowledge, he did everything at his best to get it. He used to save a lot of money, even one rupee he used to save and invest in buying books. I would like to tell you that reading never goes waste. Acquiring knowledge never goes waste. Even if it's a simple para or a newspaper or anything, always keep learning, keep reading, okay? It never goes waste. So just like that, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also kept gaining knowledge from every aspect of life. Now, he was very used to traveling. He used to go to a lot of places. So once he was in New York. So in New York, he is said to have purchased about 2,000 old books, and it is recorded that at the time of the second round table conference, which was in London, he bought so many books that they had to be sent in India in approximately 32 boxes. How many books did he buy? 2,000 books. How did he send it to India? In 32 boxes. Absolutely. Imagine, what books did he buy? He bought the old books. That means the second hand books which someone had already read and he was buying it from them. Oh my God, what a passion. So when you have a passion for something, you will go to any extent to get that, right? So if you are interested in swimming, you will even get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and practice swimming before you go to school, isn't it? Be it a cold weather or a hot weather, you will always practice and then go. That's your passion. So his passion was to read books. Okay. So it is important to record here one major influence on Dr. Ambedkar. Now at this particular time, what happened here? While he was in the USA, he was drawn to the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the USA. So USA had all these amendments. So the 14th Amendment was which gave freedom to the black Americans. So they believed that everyone is equal. There is no partiality. There is no discrimination between black or white. Everyone has their own role to play in the society, isn't it? So be it a slave or be it a middle class or a rich class person, everyone is playing their role to help this country grow. So we should not be having discrimination between everyone. So this, he was very impressed when he was in the USA. Alright? He saw at once the parallel of the situation for the depressed classes in India. So they there were called black people. Here we call them the depressed class. Who is the depressed class? The Dalits. Yes, we have these classifications, right? So Dalits. So as soon as he saw that there, he actually thought that why not this happens in my own India? Why can't I get it there? Imagine if everyone in my country was treated equal. So he was very moved with that amendment and he made sure that he gets it here. The right of equality. On returning home, as soon as he came back to India, Baba Sahib, he was also called Baba Sahib. Who is Baba Sahib? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was also called Baba Sahib with love. Came to be greatly influenced by the life and the work of Mahatma Phule. Who is Mahatma Phule? He was a votary of classless society and women's upliftment. So what is a classless society? People who have no class, people who have no value, you've not even concerned them as people living in your country. And also women. Women at that time were considered to be very, very backward. They were not given any, what do you say, darja, you know, any kind of place in the society. So he was really moved by him. He loved the way he worked. He loved the way Mahatma Phule worked. And he got inspired by him and he said, I also want to work like this. He was great. He used to roam around everywhere and do a lot of hard work for the classless society, the lower class society, and especially women. Okay, we move on. The need as well as the feasibility to reform impressed itself on Baba Sahib's mind. The way he was working and going from place to place, it really impressed Baba Sahib. He kept thinking that, like, I also want to do something like this, and how do I do it? And he decided to devote all his time and talents for the amelioration of his underprivileged brethren. What is amelioration? It's called amelioration. You can divide it. How do you say it? Amelioration. What does that mean? It means making something better. Now what did he want to do? He has gone to so many places. He has read so many books. Now all that talent and all that time, he wanted to give it a channel. He wanted to utilize that time and talent into something to bring up his underprivileged brethren. Okay, let's move on. Now, how did he do it and what did he do? Newspapers were started by him, such as, now which were the newspapers he published? Muknayak, Bahishkriti Bharat and Samata. These were at once recognized as authentic voices of the depressed souls, depressed classes. So he published a lot of newspapers. These were very important. You have to remember, these were like the voices of Baba Sahib. Whatever his thoughts were, whatever he thought and whatever he wanted everyone to do, like his entire thing going in his mind, he put it as a voice in the newspapers. Okay, there is something else he did. Likewise, institutions were set up by him. As in, what are institutions? The group of people. He collected a lot of people who had the same ideas like how he was thinking, okay? Such as the Hitakarni. Hitakarni is a Bombay legislative, Hitakarni Sabha, and the Independent Labour Party of India. He actually got these institutions ready and he became the vehicles of change. These kind of institutions started becoming a change for the society. They all started working together and started educating people. Moving on. During the same period, now we have Baba Saheb, who is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, right? Who was with him? Yes, Mahatma Phule. So he was inspired by him. So we have read about two people already. Now we have Gandhiji. Yes, Gandhiji was also pioneering his epic reform of Indian society. Gandhiji was also helping in transforming the Indian society by the way of ahimsa, satyagraha, etc., which included the uplift of depressed classes whom Gandhiji had termed Harijans. He did not like to call them depressed classes because he again went back to America. You remember the incident where Gandhiji was ill-treated in America? So whenever he thought about depressed classes, he would go back there. So he did not want to call them that. So he used to call them Harijans. So for Harijans, that is the lower class, he did lots and lots. He was a great social reformer. So these are all the social reformers that we are talking about. Now, Baba Saheb was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly in the elections under the Constitution of India Act 1935. Now, who was he elected as? He was elected at the Bombay Legislative Assembly in those kind of elections which were in 1935. Baba Saheb made effective contributions to the debates. Now, he was very good in talking. How will you be good in talking? In debates, in arguing? When you have acquired a lot of knowledge, isn't it? In the assembly on a variety of subjects, he could talk about any subject fluently. He knew about everything. His flair for legislative work became evident. What is flair? His liking, okay? He was to like reading about it. For legislative work became very evident, became known to the whole nation. Now slowly we could see the talent of Baba Saheb Ambedkar coming in front of the whole world. Now this is the idea that he implemented. This is not in your book, but this is an extra that I would like to tell you. Okay, what is his idea? First, he used to educate. He used to go around with his people, his institutions, and educate people. You have to know about what you're doing. If you don't know about what you're doing, you will be going blindly. So he went and told people what he is doing and how do they benefit with whatever he is doing. So he went and first thing educated everyone. After that, okay, let's come to agitate first. What is agitate? First you tell everyone what you're doing. Then you tell them agitate. Agitate is a kind of movement, but not in a protest, not in a form of harming everyone, not in killing, but silently getting your point across but not harming someone. That is agitate. He went and agitated everyone. He made so many groups so to get his work in front. After you know what you're doing and you know that you do not have to harm everyone, you start organizing yourself. Then they started organizing groups and moved forward. So this is the policy that was applied by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Educate, organize, agitate. Alright, let's move on. Soon, the Constituent Assembly of India afforded Dr. Ambedkar the opportunity to give the most notable and permanent shape to his social philosophy and to his undying faith in the dignity of human beings. Finally, they recognized. Finally, the Constituent Assembly gave him a post which he belonged to. They saw how confident and how powerful he was, right? He was very, very inclined towards changing the society. So they said, okay, we will give him an opportunity, and they did. Yes, because his social philosophy was superb and his undying faith in the dignity of human beings. He treated all human beings equally and respectfully. So Baba Saheb was not in the Congress, but it must be said to the credit of the foresight and objective leadership of the Indian National Congress that it requested Dr. Ambedkar to serve on the drafting committee. What is drafting committee? who make the drafts, who actually write down the rules and the principles. So actually he was not in the Congress, but he played a very important role in drafting, okay, drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly, and made him its chairman. He became the chairman of the drafting committee. So everything, whatever rules were passed, whatever were passed, were going through him, and he was helping them to make. Going on. I have finished this part. Now I have divided it into some parts because it is difficult for you. It's actually a social science subject, but that's why I have divided it into parts for you to understand. Please revise these points, and these question answers are related to those points, and then we will move on to the next part. So question number 1 is, Ambedkar had a great thirst for books when he was a student. What happened? Explain. Now Ambedkar was very fond of reading books from his childhood. Throughout his life he read books. Wherever he went, he brought books. He had an insatiable thirst for books which cannot be satisfied. He bought 2000 books from New York and 32 boxes of books from London. This shows that he was a voracious reader. Okay. Now question number 2. How did the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution and Mahatma Phule influence Ambedkar? How did it influence Ambedkar? While he was in the USA, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the USA gave freedom to the black Americans. It drew his attention. He found it very useful. The situation for the depressed classes in India had also faced the same problem. So wherever he went, his thought of fellow human beings was always in his mind. Yes, at that time Mahatma Phule worked for a classless society and women's upliftment. Ambedkar had influence from both, okay, the incidents. So he had decided to use his time and talent to improve the conditions of depressed classes. What 2 incidents? First, when he went to USA, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of USA. Which is the second one? Mahatma Phule. As soon as he came to India, he was very inspired by Mahatma Phule's work. So here we end the part 1 of the video. I will see you soon with the part 2. Please revise the entire part 1 thoroughly, and we shall discuss the points again in part 2. See you soon.